Hi everyone, today I want to share a fun new stamp and punch collection that's in the annual catalog that just came out this last month. This is May 2023, and it's really pretty, and I like the look of the stamp, but I also really love that there's a punch. Now the punch does not cut out images from the stamp set, but it's a coordinating thing, and there's paper involved as well, so it's really fun. It's called Inked and Tiled, and it kind of has like a little brushwork looking imagery, and then nice sentiments. I always love when a stamp set has enough sentiments to kind of carry me through without having to go dig for a thank you or a birthday or something like that. So I really like the sentiments included, and these are really fun little punches. You can work these into all kinds of patterns, so I thought they were really fun, and I used this card for a stamp camp a week ago. I was going to show this video a whole week ago too, but I got sick. Summer cold. I think the all the flowers and things that are coming out did not do well for my sinuses. So I'm a little late, but it's a pretty set. I wanted to make sure to show it, even though I did this a while ago. So if you've been to stamp camp, you've already seen these. So anyway, I did two versions, and I did one with Calypso Coral and one with the new, well, returning Lost Lagoon. And I think I like the Calypso Coral slightly better. I don't know why. Tell me what you think. Do you like the Calypso Coral or the Lost Lagoon? Now the paper, I'm going to show you that too, because it could also depend on what you put with your papers. The paper collection for this is a 6x6, and it kind of has images that match the stamp set. So you've got kind of this real loose brushwork kind of looking images. Here's Lost Lagoon, a couple different tones, a couple different values of that. Here is, now they tell you the colors, and I should probably have looked that up. I want to say it's Lost Lagoon, Petal Pink, Pearl, Pool Party, and Calypso Coral I said, and then the yellow is Crushed Curry. So you've got, and I like that there's some vanilla background. They also have little bits of white in there, so you can use this on a white base or a vanilla base, and I like that as well. I love this one with the little leaves. Some scraps I've got going on. Anyway, really nice papers. I think they're really fun. I love that Lost Lagoon is back, so I was immediately drawn to it. I like this one. That's a nice dot, kind of good for anything. So one side kind of has a multicolor and the other side's kind of tone on tone. I've noticed a few of papers that are like that. And anyway, I've used a lot up because, like I said, we did this card at stamp camp, so there were 14 of us that already made this card, and so that's what I have left. Okay, so we're going to do the Calypso Coral one together, and I want to show different ways to ink up. I think there's a few different ways that you can ink up that stamp to get two colors. I'm going to show 3 different ways to do that. Here's the inside, and we did that again here. And I want to really show you this fun punch. So let me grab a sheet here. I'm going to do this one since it's solid and you can probably see it better, but you've got 2 different punches and they work together. So as you can see, this one makes kind of a star pattern, looks like a star quilt pattern, and then this one more of an X. I also thought this could be fun, kind of a quilty XOX, you know, kind of like a hugs and kisses type thing. Could be fun. And then you can punch out the different little punches, and you can actually nest them while you're punching to kind of get maximum use out of your paper, real tight together. And then I'm going to lay them across quilt pattern on the card background. So let's make the card. I've got a card base in Calypso Coral, and I'm going to take the large leaf from the stamp, and I'm going to randomly stamp this large leaf across my background. So I like to make sure to go off the page. If you kind of stamp them randomly all within the page, it just doesn't look as nice if you go off the page. And it kind of gives the look of that this was like a big sheet of designer paper maybe. You want to turn and twist it a little bit so you've got different images showing. You've got some tops of leaves and some of the stems. And it's just kind of random. You could get another one in there, but you're going to cover the center with that quilty look, so I'm not too worried about that. All right, so now for those punches. Now I've made myself kind of a pile here of different punched pieces, and that's because I need to make this for a swap. I'm doing a catalog swap with some other demonstrators, so I made myself a lot of these, and I'm going to make a dozen of this card, but I won't make you watch me make a dozen of this card. So the easiest way I think to do these quilted pieces is to just give yourself kind of a little stripe of adhesive. Okay, and then I start with one that you like the best. I love this one with the leaf, so I'm going to make sure that that one gets a lot of view, so I'm going to put this one in the top. And I'm going to hang it slightly off. I don't want it to be right on the edge because, like I said, I like it when things hang off. It looks like it was a continued piece of work that you've cut up. All right, and then take another one, and we're going to match it up. And I'm going slightly below center. And then I'm gonna take another, let's see, grab, and you can kind of turn them and make them go any way you want. This one, and then I need another X. Okay, and you can go all the way across if you want, but this middle piece is going to be completely covered up. And since I have to make quite a few of these, I am going to not bother putting one here because I want to save some of these punch pieces that I made. Okay, so let's see, I want something I haven't used yet. Let's see. There we go. All right, so now I've got those down, and I can take the scissors and just trim them, or you can use your paper trimmer if you've got one of those handy, to just kind of cut off your excess pieces here. Okay, now this next piece I cut out very vanilla, and I liked the very vanilla because, you know, so often we have white, so I wanted to use very vanilla. So very vanilla with the deckled edge dies. I love the deckled edge dies. This is a nice bundle, stamps and punches, so if you don't have a die cutter that you can still make a really pretty project. I use the die cutter on this piece, but you could easily make it straight, or you can do a torn edge. At the deckled edge, I'm going to show you the dies. Here you go. And it's a variety of sizes, and they have this kind of torn edge look without having to actually tear the edges, right? And here's the size that I used. And it's a nice product to have if you have one of the die cut machines. I'm going to give you a little sneak info. This is May 30th that I'm making this video, but on June 1st there's going to be a join deal, and it's a really great join deal. You're going to get $155 worth of product for just $99. So if you don't have a die cut machine, that's the perfect time to get one. But that's not till June 1st, and I'll have a whole separate video on that, but I just wanted to tell you because it's exciting. Okay, now the next stamp I'm going to use is the large floral from this piece, and here's the one where I need to make this two different colors. Now the easiest way, I think, to do that is to use markers. But if you don't have markers, there's some other options. I'm going to show you the marker way. Our markers come with a brush tip and then a small little nib tip. I'm going to use the brush tip and just kind of go down the image here that I want to ink up. And then I'm going to do the same with the Calypso Coral. So these are water-based markers, and the nice thing about that is that you can do what I'm doing here. Now we also sell, Stampin' Up! Sells alcohol ink markers, Stampin' Blends. This is not the kind of marker, you don't want to use those for this because those are not water-based, so they're going to dry pretty instantly onto your stamps. They're going to permanently stain your stamps because it's like using a Sharpie, and so it's not going to then, you can maybe, if you're really fast, get some ink to transfer onto this paper, but it's not going to be a smooth look. It's completely the wrong marker to use for this technique. Okay, so there you go. I've got that ink on there. And I've got 2 colors. So I like that idea. But if you don't have our markers, don't think you can't accomplish this. There's a couple different ways. So another way to accomplish this is with sponges. So let me show you how that would look. I'm going to ink up a sponge dauber. You can use a cut up sponge. I love the daubers because they kind of make your life easier and your hands don't get full of ink. But if you don't have that, you can use a sponge that you've cut up. And then I'm going to do the same with the lagoon. Like so. And then one final way that you can do it is to just carefully ink your stamp up on the ink pad. This particular image is good for that because the calypso's at the top, the Lost Lagoon's at the bottom, so you can kind of ink up your flower. I would go light to dark ink first and then ink up this other flower. Kind of check where you're at. And then you would carefully ink up your stem. So it's a little tricky to do this way, but you can manage it with some stamps, and this particular one works okay. All right, so that's 3 different ways that you can ink up this floral image. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and put this down with some dimensionals. But before I do, I want to add the ribbon, and I want to add it now because it's easy for me to attach it. I am going to use this other ribbon instead. I used a different ribbon on my Stamp Camp card because this one is a retired ribbon that came in a combo pack that's on the clearance rack. At least it was. I'm not positive that it is today. I haven't checked in a week or so, but it's actually terracotta tile, which is a retired color, but look how close it is to Calypso Coral with that shimmer. It looks just like Calypso Coral. So I used that. I was trying to use up some of my retired ribbon, but this is a current ribbon, and it's Lost Lagoon, and it's a really pretty kind of woven ribbon, and I really like it. What are they calling it? Bordered ribbon. It's just kind of a woven, kind of natural looking fibers. I like it a lot. So I'm going to use this one on my swap card because I want to make sure to use all current things on my demo swap. So I'm going to staple this actually, and it's just an easy way to add a little bit of ribbon, and I'm going to cover the staple with the greeting so I'm not worried about it, and that way I know it's going to stay down. Yeah, like so. Okay, and then for the greeting, remember how there were 2 punches? One was kind of an X shape and the other one was kind of this Christmas star. It looks almost like a quilted star. I'm going to use this one for the greeting, Stampin' Up! Perfectly sized the sentiments to fit that. So perfect. So I'm going to use Lost Lagoon, and I'm going to do a thank you. The only trick is to making sure, I should have probably punched. Usually I like to stamp first and then punch, but I think that would have been an easier one to center had I punched it first. Although I think I did pretty good. Thank you. And here I'm going to go ahead and add the dimensionals to this right side, or left side. Sometimes I don't know my left from right. Okay, I'm going to put the dimensionals on there and then kind of tuck it so that way it's at the same height as my floral. Like so. And then just for some inside, I like to do the insides of my cards. I already stamped this so my video wasn't too long. I used the smaller flower and I did the same thing. I used markers to do the top of the flower and the bottom in 2 different colors. And then for an embellishment, I was going back and forth on the embellishments. There is a gem collection that are these perfect colors, and I'll show it to you. How perfect. I mean, it was like the card was made for it. They're called iridescent pastel gems. These are new in the annual catalog, and it's got this blue, this coral, and kind of a vanilla-y color. It's absolutely perfect for this, but in the end, I went with butterflies. I love butterflies because they're flat. These are flat brass butterflies, and I really like them because you can get them on the card, and they're not going to make the card too puffy, and that way you're not going to have to add extra postage. It's going to lay nice and flat. I can add a few butterflies on here. They have shimmer because they're brass, and yet they look really kind of nice. They kind of elevate the card a bit. They look a little classy, and but they're not real puffy. They're not going to stick out, and sometimes that's okay with the gems to stick out a little bit, but I've already got a few layers going on here, and so I thought, you know, those butterflies are perfect. And they're inexpensive, so I think butterflies, add that onto your next order. Super great. So thank you so much for watching. Tell me which one you like. Do you like the Calypso Coral background, or do you like the Lost Lagoon background? Tough choice. I kind of am partial to the coral. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you'll know when the next time I make a video. Thanks for watching. Bye!